Helen Mirren has long been seen as the very definition of elegance, class, and incredible talent. She's a dame of the British Empire, an Oscar winner, and one of the most respected actresses of her generation. But before she earned those titles, before she wore the crown in The Queen or battled villains in the Fast and Furious movies, Helen Mirren was doing something completely unexpected. She was shocking audiences with roles that were raw, fearless, and unapologetically bold. These weren't the safe, polished roles of Hollywood royalty. These were the kinds of parts that pushed boundaries, raised eyebrows, and made her impossible to ignore. In 1969, Helen Mirren was just 24 years old when she starred in Age of Consent. She played Cora, a wild and free young woman living off the coast of Australia. The movie was visually stunning, but it was Helen's performance that made it unforgettable. She wasn't just there to look beautiful or be a love interest. She gave the character something more, an independence and emotional depth that showed how serious she was about her craft. Even then, she had a way of stealing every scene without even trying. By 1972, she was proving she could handle roles that demanded even more intensity. In Savage Messiah, she played a passionate, unpredictable character in a film based on the life of a rebellious sculptor. Directed by Ken Russell, the film was wild, artistic, and loud. Helen didn't just hold her own. She owned the screen. There was a fire in her that made it hard to look away. It wasn't just about being daring. It was about power, emotion, and a kind of energy that felt both beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Then in 1973, she appeared in Oh Lucky Man, a strange and clever film that blurred the lines between satire and surreal comedy. Helen played Patricia, a small role in a chaotic world of shifting scenes and characters. But even in this unpredictable setting, she stood out. Her screen presence was magnetic. She could show up in one scene and somehow be the one thing people remembered most. That was the kind of talent she had. The kind that made you watch her no matter how big or small the part. But nothing could prepare audiences for what came next. In 1979, Helen took on a role in Caligula, one of the most talked-about films of its time. It was supposed to be a serious historical drama, but the producer, Bob Guccione, turned it into something completely different by adding graphic, explicit scenes after filming was done. The result was a scandal. The movie was banned, censored, and condemned around the world. Many of the actors distanced themselves from it. But not Helen. She didn't apologize for her role. She didn't make excuses. And despite the chaos around the film, her performance as Caesonia was powerful. She managed to shine even when everything else around her seemed to fall apart. That's how strong her presence was. In the early 1980s, she continued to take risks. In Hussy, she played a nightclub hostess caught up in a dangerous love affair. It wasn't a huge blockbuster, but it showed something very important. Helen never chose the easy roles. She was always looking for something different, something that challenged her. She brought her character to life in a way that felt real and honest, showing pain, toughness, and vulnerability all at once. Then, in 1989, she starred in The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. The title alone hints at how strange the movie was, but Helen's performance was what truly made it unforgettable. She played a woman trapped in a violent, controlling marriage who finds freedom and power in a secret relationship with another man. The film was stylish, bizarre, and often disturbing. But once again, Helen wasn't just acting, she was commanding the screen. Her performance was filled with strength, pain, and rebellion. She wasn't playing the victim. She was turning her character into a symbol of control and courage. Throughout these early years, Helen Mirren wasn't just building a career, she was making a statement. She wasn't afraid of controversy. She wasn't afraid to show her body, express her anger, or take on roles that most actresses wouldn't dare to touch. She believed in the power of storytelling, no matter how uncomfortable or shocking it might be. And because of that, she became more than just a great actress. She became the legend. What makes her story so fascinating is that she didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for the world to give her the kind of roles she deserved. She went out and took them. And while the world now sees her as a dignified, royal figure in films and television, her past tells a much more surprising story. Helen Mirren has always been fearless. Long before the awards and the titles, she was taking risks that changed her life and changed how people looked at women in film. Her early roles weren't just bold for the sake of shock. They were smart, meaningful, and ahead of their time. She wasn't looking for fame. She was looking for truth, expression, and freedom. And that's what makes her one of the most respected and admired actresses of all time. Not just for the roles she played, but for the choices she made when no one expected it. If you found this story as unexpected as it was inspiring, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're curious about more wild Hollywood stories, make sure to subscribe for more.